with Wario, Wario's the same way as Ike. You don't really have to worry about that, and your win condition is about surviving.
Absolutely, and we already know, man, Gluto. Gluto is the definition of somebody who's down but not out, right? You know, he could be just trailing a considerable amount, but once you see that waft, you just know there's always the opportunity to open it up. But speaking of opening things up, that is exactly what MR.R is doing right out the gate. You know, Sheik notorious for those combos to really rack up the damage. Obviously, the Achilles heel sometimes is the ability to kill, but one thing I've really noticed from Sheiks like MR.R is the fact they've really kind of corrected that deficiency. Absolutely. So these kind of percentages right now where you're thinking, okay, I'm going to take some hits, but I'm always going to be living, don't think those conversions aren't just waiting in the wings.
And don't let this early lead deceive you here, too. MR.R is absolutely dominating the stage right now, but this is kind of the matchup when it comes to having to play around Sheik in general. Gluto knows, yes, he's already at 143, avoids that side B real quick here. MR.R doing a really good job at slowing down the pace, and that's the most important thing. You saw the quick reset from MR.R, charging up those needles, hanging out by the ledge, and even though you saw MR.R lose stage control right there, not trying to get overzealous and trying to actually go into Gluto's phase.
Very well said, because you kind of understand a player like Gluto, like there's always opportunity.
Oh, he almost got it.
Exactly, there's always opportunity for him to just kind of strike and take off the stock. And one thing for Sheik, I mean, far from the heaviest character. Yeah, that works if you're doing some modeling, not so much on the battlefield. I'm gonna keep it real with you. Gotta get your weight up a little bit, but doing just fine right now, sitting at that sweet 69%. Gluto, however, just playing around MR.R so carefully. You can tell he's looking potentially for that finishing blow. Using that move. Both these characters with just such good mobility. Great catch right there. Almost baiting Gluto into striking, and then MR.R, the perfect countermeasures to execute, get that first stock off.
And that's super important here in this matchup, just for the reasons that we've discussed already. Being able to capitalize off of that early lead and making sure you get that stock first, super important. Although Gluto is holding on to that waft in the pocket, it's going to wait to use it for that second stock with MR.R already being at 92%.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, nice rising up air. He's going to get the second one. Goes in for the back air. Not trying to go, again, not overextending. No. Just immediately understanding that he won't be able to get a third one in, so he just automatically goes and opts for the back air instead.
Wow, loving the survivability we are seeing right now from MR.R. Absolutely playing out of his mind. Takes an F-tilt right there, but not going to drop the stock. Doing just fine. Nice, smart enough to just shield through the dash attack attempt from Gluto, who really... Okay, finally able to find an answer. You knew eventually something was going to connect for Gluto, and that's a very modest 37%, nothing to be too concerned about. And he's got Waft on deck too, as you pointed out, Vikki. So still a very even game unfolding in this first one.
See how this goes already at 64%. Saw the rising nair coming out. MR.R already understanding what was going to come here, so he's going to immediately try to go for a reset. MR.R also having, again, the matchup history against Gluto. He knows exactly what Gluto wants. That nair lingered long enough to prevent that grab from even coming out.
These combinations from MR.R looking incredibly in control. You know, I found it, one thing I really did find curious about these two yesterday was the fact that they knew that they were in the same pool, yet that did not stop them from playing hours upon hours of friendlies with one another. I kind of attributed that to the fact that Gluto understands I could just do things like that, and I could just make your lead evaporate out of nowhere. It doesn't even matter.
That's the win condition. That's what we're talking about with that needle confirmation into the bouncing fish. Immediately even things out. But this is a great scenario for MR.R because now he doesn't have to worry about the waft.
100%. Got that off the table, so now this final stock going to be a little more honest on the part of Wario. Obviously, you don't want to let him linger around too long because it does regenerate. Understanding that, but here comes Gluto right now with some combinations, though. MR.R returning fire off the grab. Nice. So the double up air into some nice fair action. Gonna close it out with the nair. And look at this control on the left side. He is being put into lockdown.
Goodness. Tries to go for the rising nair real quick. Wow, actually avoiding the uppy. MR.R's been doing a really good job at avoiding not only the nair setups, but some of these up airs from Gluto whenever he's on the platform.
100%. This is just a fantastic bout right now. Okay, tries to pick him out. With the dare attempt, not gonna quite get there. Gluto looking for a combo starter, trying to get in there.
Now looking on the other side of the coin here, E, what I am worried about real quick, aside from MR.R going off stage like that, is that half waft sometimes, especially with full rage, could be so scary, but he went soaring to the side.
And that was all opened up by the dare. Didn't work out the last time he went for it, but on that one, just getting out of disadvantage, able to drag him down with the up air, convert with the down smash. And that conversion is just, the success rate on it for MR.R, very high, and Gluto, a recipient of that. And Vikki, again, best-of-3 territory. That is a huge deal for Mr. R to close out that first game.
Even if that full waff wasn't going to go online, you have to worry about your positioning on the stage and what percent Gluto was going to hold on to that half waff if he could get that conversion. Every single time Mr. R was on top of those platforms, though, like we highlighted, he made sure he would go for a reset, try to stay centered stage below those platforms, not get caught off by the up B, the up airs, even the rising airs from Gluto. I don't think Gluto was expecting that knockback to send him immediately to the side, though, because he was sent horizontally.
Yeah.
Like, he disappeared.
Like, he took all those hits, and that was all she wrote. So there you go. Mr. R really setting the tempo early with that first game on Gluto. Gluto gonna need that immediate bounce back. Again, this is best of 3. Yes, bring it all to the table. One thing, too, I really appreciate about the best of 3 was, you know, for some of these players out here, too, who main and experiment with multiple characters, you kind of got to commit a little sooner than you might like to, right? You don't really have that one flex game to really do some experimenting with. Like, you got to kind of bring it all to the table right out the gate.
And you know, something we actually didn't highlight, which is super important because it's very different than what we're used to when it comes to the normal tournament format, when it comes to stages specifically, is the character selection is picked first between these two players before we go into stage picks. Yes, so there is no counter pick stages, by the way. There are no counter stages.
Oh my God!
I got the conversion again into the bouncing fish. It's those combos at the very end for Mr. R that allow him to continue on this lead. But Gluto knows he has to get a little bit more aggressive here in the situation, almost trying to get that 2-frame.
You know, listen, I don't want to be that guy, okay? I don't want to be that guy to speculate, okay? I'm not trying to Tony Z tank it right now, okay? But could you imagine if Gluto got eliminated day 1? I'm not saying it's going to happen.
Okay.
By no means am I claiming that, chat. By no means am I claiming that. I'm just saying the way Mr. R is playing right now, he's just trying to let you know, I'm not going home. I ain't going home right now.
That was the one thing that Mr. R kept repeating yesterday during Media Day. He knew that was the one thing he was going to avoid at all costs going into this pool. He knew that he was going to be that underdog that a lot of players were just kind of going to brush off because they haven't been able to see that performance that we're so used to seeing back in the day when Mr. R was able to travel to the United States more.
Mr. R still a very elite talent, but of course, you talk about elite, then Gluto is certainly at the top of the mountain when you are on this French soil, able to try to storm back right now and really make up that deficit that he was facing very early on. Love that dash attack out of parry, just the immediate response. Trying to shut down any kind of concerns, anybody, including myself,
this is the scary part
about him.
He heard you, EE, and you saw even after that up smash when Mr. R dropped his shield for that first stock, he heard you. And, contending him actually with the nair out of that.
He needed that because I've seen him lead that into wild combos that delete stocks. Very good stuff for Mr. R to get himself out of that position, but still find himself trailing. Nothing too bad right now, though. About what, 34, 49?
The scary part is that this is a bit of a different situation than what we witnessed in that first game. Gluto has waff. He's got it ready, and Mr. R is already on that last stock. Now trying to evenly get back to the stage. Managed to get back with those up airs. That's actually contesting Gluto whenever he's trying to go for a ledge trap.
I'm feeling like we are definitely going to game number 3. The control right now that Gluto has, obviously on a stage that he was able to select, seems very comfortable right now. Mr. R is fighting, trying to find an answer, get in there. Oh, air, not able to connect. Everything kind of few and far between right now for opportunities as far as it goes from Mr. R. Been pretty much all Gluto, about 85% of this offense.
And this is the way that Mr. R is forced to play right now. Playing at disadvantage, you notice how he's playing a lot more patiently. He's just charging up needles instead. He is rolling a lot here, but he called up the roll there from Gluto. He gets the follow-up, he gets the second stock. Gluto's gonna be able to come back still. He's gonna be able to have that waff that he hasn't used just yet within the second game, but at 82%, this is the scary part of playing Sheep.
Yeah, Gluto's got a plethora of options right here to just kind of remove this final stock off of Mr. R for game number 2, so. Not saying Ramen can't bring it back.
Oh, my. What? What?
Bro.
No.
Who does that? Did he grab him out of waft? Good. I mean.
I mean, he got like the initial hit of the pink guy, but he didn't. It didn't go all the way.
I'm glad.
What?
I'm glad Sheik was wearing that mask. That's all I'm going to say right now. That's all I'm going to say. I'm glad she's wearing that mask. Good Lord, what a play from Mr. R. And maybe that is enough to kind of generate the comeback that he's looking for right now. Waft is completely off of the table. Mr. R playing with house money right now. And all bets are in. He's looking pretty good for him.
Look at this. Look how he's turning things up a little bit here, too. He's getting a lot more aggressive. Gluto now forced to actually have to play out of the disadvantage when it comes to your win con, just completely getting deleted here. Oh, get the follow though, but you got the downer, the dash attack out of the down tilt from Gluto. Attempt to try to take that stock.
Are so close. Oh, a trade right there. Gonna keep him alive, though. Charging the needles, too, on the way back to the ledge. Nice, going high, smart stuff. Using that mobility of Sheik. Clear some space. Oh, man, I can hear our French casters down there just going crazy right now on the stage. First game of the day already causing heart attacks, and we're not even done with game number 2.
This is crazy. Oh, he caught the jump real quick here. Oh, try to get the follow-up into the up air. The down tilt, the dash attack. He knew
oh my God, he got
there. He gets it. He gets it. Let's not forget that MR.R was on this last stock for a long time. By the time that Gluto was able to try to at least go for the waft, I believe MR.R was what, at 80, 90-something%?
Oh my God.
What?
You know, the one person he wanted to avoid, the one competitor he didn't want to see in pools, in bracket, he comes into the first match of the day and dominates with a 2-0 victory, sets the tone. And now I'm starting to think maybe Gluto should have been worried about MR.R.
When you look at their set here, the history, you can't blame him though.
That's insane.
Well, okay, look, you gotta do the research. You gotta say it how it is. But you know what is something nice to note? Aside from their practice yesterday, maybe that was the most recent practice Gluto was able to get with MR.R. Because what was it? The last time they played against each other was in the summer, I believe.
Yeah. And with the game 4, I believe it was a mixture of characters. I think he was using Crom, if I'm not mistaken. He was using Crom. But remember, I told you at the start of the set, he is fully invested into Sheik, fully buying in, and I'll tell you what, hell of a purchase.